Welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Ben. Today we are sitting back with the Brock family in the Brock Bourbon Bar. How we doing today?
Doing well.
Doing today. We're doing good?
Doing awesome.
Good deal. So today I brought over a little treat. You all have been missing out on the Starlight Amburana cask, Bourbons and Ryes.
The hunting, the looking for, the bartering has not been well.
It's not, I got lucky. I got both the events. I was able to get in, got my tickets, got the beer. I took buddies with me. I was able to invite one person, so I got some bottles and am lucky. And matter of fact, at the second event, at the Rye event, I was one of the lucky drawings. I actually got a bottle that's signed by everybody in the family that had something to do with that batch. I think it's signed by like all Christian, Ted, Blake, and then like 4 or 5 other guys that worked on that whole project because it was the first Rye that they'd released of them. So It's the only one that will probably not be opened unless I just run out and just can't find another bottle, and then I just have to do it. But like they're special, so we'll just go with that.
I can completely understand that.
Totally.
So Starlight's definitely killing it out there. We love the family out there, and we even got to give a little love to Dana. She's the mom, and Dana doesn't get all the notoriety that she probably deserves for holding everything together up there. So
Too many boys.
But I always say, behind every great man's a better woman. So
That is true.
So we're going to go with that. So since you guys have never tried, smelled, taste these things, I'm going to say that, like, to me, these are just crazy. I don't want to influence your noses or your taste buds or anything like that. But we're going to start. We're going to have one bourbon and then one rye, and then I'll let you pick which one you likes the best. But they are from the original releases of the Amburana cask from Starlight, both of them. So the first one I think is it's a bourbon, and is it the Blake or the Christian? I think it's the Christian, if I remember correctly. The bourbon's the Christian. Good deal. So the bourbon's a Christian, which is what I thought, and then the rye is the Blake. So, and the reason I remember that is because it's one of those things where I literally, these are the ones that are left that, and my phone is going to rock this off right here while I'm taking a picture.
I was wondering, it sounded like something
Feedback
from an Atari.
Straight from the phone. They're just totally different, and every time I sit back and I smell one of these and I try them, it literally is nothing I've ever tried before. And I've tried tons of other, and people call it a cigar batch, right? They're like, that's what they call it. I've had hundreds of cigar batches. Joseph Mangers. I've had some of the ones that the guys at Good Times did. There's a couple other places that have them that's released them, and I've tried them. This by far is just heads and tails to me. It's a different experience, and just wow. So I'm gonna let you guys dive in.
Is it? I want to say, is it wrong that I am about 8 to 9 inches away from these glasses,
And you can already smell it.
I am starting to smell like chocolate.
So I don't get chocolate, but once you get closer, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get chocolate. And if you do get chocolate, I'm going to be shocked. But dive in, go to the bourbon, let's try it first, get a big smell, and just tell me what you get. Like, I mean, I swear to you not, like, it is the most bizarre. It's like your all's faces. Like, this is like, it's like Christmas for me right now, just because I get to watch your guys' face.
I want to almost say it's close. I mean, it's like if you throw cinnamon up in the air and you just smell the after effects of the cinnamon. I don't know. That's my first impression.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. I've got other things. I'm going to let Barbara get a little bit deeper in here and let her think and dive in, because I feel like her nose is a little bit better than ours.
I'm not going to doubt that one bit.
That's why I love having her on the show. She definitely gives us a female perspective, and I feel like she does a pretty good nose on the nosing.
Well, while she's still sitting there pondering.
But look at the legs on this thing. I mean, it just rolls. Yeah. I mean, it's got tons and tons of, the viscosity on this bad boy is just, I mean, it hangs to the glass.
It's weird. I get this almost, the nose is kind of like that. I don't know if you're correct that it's quite cinnamon, but it has the context of how it reacts with your nose.
Oh, it's definitely cinnamon.
Oh, really?
It's just, it's a very distinct cinnamon to me. When I smell this, like, it's very distinct. Like, it may be because of what I did for a living before I became a banker, but it's very, very distinct to me. Barbara is puzzled, dude. This is the quietest I've ever seen Barbara. I'm going to bring this shit over all the time just so Barbara won't talk so much. I'm just kidding, Barbara.
I think she's trying to relate it to something in her past, but it's just not quite working right now.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, it's so unique.
Incredibly. I have no idea.
So I'm trying not to cloud her judgment, but to me,
Rose.
rose. So you get flower.
Well, the funny thing is that I was almost getting kind of this, I'm not going to quite say ash, but kind of like a rose petal, at the end of the nose. So once you get past that cinnamon, I'm getting just a tiny bit of that kind of like light ash wood / almost like a rose petal.
So I don't get that, but I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I just don't get that. So for me, and not to, all right, wait a minute.
A little bit of licorice.
A little bit of licorice, okay.
A little bit of licorice.
I don't get the anise or licorice either.
It's kind of like rose and licorice mixed together.
Okay. So to me, since you've given an initial aspect, this is straight up like a Christmas cookie. It's like a snickerdoodle / gingerbread cookie.
Oh God!
Like,
now that you know, yeah,
like,
I'm seeing that because that's that's that delayed cinnamon.
Yep.
That's not like a heavy direct cinnamon.
Right. It's like cinnamon and sugar mixed.
There you go.
And then on top of it, and then like in the reason I say this thing is crazy complex, it literally like it hits the front of your nose, then it hits the middle of your nose, and then at the very, very like where your nose and your eyeballs are touching, like there's even something different. So to me, it was like snickerdoodle / gingerbread. And then that middle portion is straight clove and a little bit of like nutmeg. And then at the very, very finish, it's straight tobacco. I mean, just straight tobacco at the very, very end.
Oh yeah, I'm picking up what you're saying now. He's not lying. Is that whenever I sit back and actually think about that of the where we usually talk about our palates, where we get the front, mid, and late.
Right.
I'm getting that in my nose.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've never I've tried a ton of these cigar batches, and I've never had one that was like I could literally just pour this into a glass, pour it back into the bottle, and just sit and sniff it
and be happy
and be completely happy. Yeah, completely happy. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I haven't even tasted it.
I know. I haven't even tasted it yet. That's what I'm saying. Wait till you taste it. It's going to blow your mind. Like you never tasted anything like it. So, all right, dive in.
All right.
Get you, wet your whistle. It's going to be something that's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you. It's going to blow your mind. Oh, Barbara's got the deep pondering thought. Nick's got the...
Now I am getting most definitely that snickerdoodle.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little ginger, kind of mid-palate, and then it's going into a tobacco.
Isn't that funny? I mean, it's just crazy.
It's kind of harder for Barbara to tobacco because she doesn't... I'm only allowed a couple of cigars a year around her, and she really doesn't care that much for the smell or taste of it, but probably used to more of the cigarette, but I try to do cigars. I don't do cigarettes. It's like she's meditating.
I know.
But no, you're right. This is the front end is like straight up cookie. I mean, I could almost put like, straight snickerdoodle, out of the refrigerator, that big bar.
Yeah.
And eat it.
And where I got it from is, and I don't know if you ever had Great American Cookie Company snickerdoodles.
Oh, God, I remember that.
The big, thick, shortbread
Yes.
snickerdoodle cookies that they had. They were just big, thick ones.
Because it's weird. You get that raw, kind of a raw-y
Yep.
snickerdoodle taste in there.
Yeah, and it's all sugar, right? It's like that
Yes.
sugary dough, like that type of thing. It's all right there in the front. And then that mid palate is like clove and nutmeg and intense like that. And then the finish is just like straight like tobacco, like straight cigar, like pipe tobacco, like every sweet tobacco you've ever tried in your entire life that you've ever smoked. That's what I get in the back finish.
So it may be because I've not had
A cigar. That's cool.
and it's just not my thing. I get a incredibly high dark chocolate. It's none of that sweet. It's all that really kind of harsh.
Is on the finish?
Yeah.
So
on the very back finish.
I can almost pick that up, like what you're talking about, like the real rich, like an 80% cacao bar or something like that.
80-90%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like really, really dark.
Yeah, I can almost pick that up. But
Again, I don't know cigars, so.
Yeah. But to me, I mean, this is just, and y'all thought I was funny when I said it's like Christmas. Like, I mean, it's just, that's what it reminds me of.
Potpourri.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Like
almost say like a potpourri type thing.
cranberry spiced potpourri. It's still a Christmas. But
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I mean, it's that cinnamon and fruit and just everything that just kind of goes in there. Everything that you put in the pot. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm about to say. I'm going to say something stupid here, and I know
what's new? Let's go with it.
Wassail.
Wassail. Yeah. Wassail. That's what you're talking about, right? Wassail, like the apple cider that's steeped.
It's not really. I'm not
Yeah.
getting much apple on it, but
Yeah.
I'm getting the rest of those
Yeah.
flavors that
Everything
are
else.
associated with it.
No. I definitely get where you're coming from there. Yeah. All those rich cinnamons, clove, nutmeg, all that stuff. Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out, it was triggering something that I've had before in the past.
Is
It's
it called?
what Mom has at Christmas.
Is it called
in the-
wassail or wassail? I don't
Wassail.
know. Is it wassail? Mm-hmm.
Well, I've heard her sing it enough times because she used to be in one of the singing groups that did Madrigal, right?
Madrigal dinners. Bring it on.
Yes.
Maybe my Southern Indiana twang. We get wassail.
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 Yeah. So it's the only reason why I know how to pronounce it correctly is just because I hear them sing it so many times, in the past.
But to me, dude,
But yeah,
is your mind not blown?
Oh, it is
Totally.
completely.
Totally.
Well, I mean, the thing is that this is an assault of the senses.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Because I wouldn't expect the 2 or 3 different areas of the nose that I was going to actually pick up this. Usually
Right.
with typical bourbon, you'll get you either get heat, you get to smell the ethanol,
Yeah.
and you get like maybe a few, palatable items that you on the nose. And that's it.
yeah,
There's a depth
yeah,
on the nose to this.
and there's no heat.
No.
I mean none. I mean and this is 112. I mean and there's no heat.
I would have guessed this could be a 94.
Yeah, I mean
Easily 94.
94, 90. Yeah, I mean anywhere in those 90s. I mean there's just no heat.
Maybe 90.
Yeah, I mean this is almost like like you said, like almost like 89. Like this is like Basil Hayden, like low proof, like very smooth, very.
You're talking blasphemy here, okay?
Yes.
You do not compare this to.
No,
Basil.
I'm just saying by proof value. Like when you're talking about drinking something at a low proof, I mean it doesn't get any lower than Basil Hayden. I don't think you can get. I mean 80 proof
Legal-
is the
for
lowest legally,
legal,
right?
yeah.
To go to bourbon.
Correct. It does. You are right. It does drink like the proofage. Nowhere close to flavors. Because this is way too complex.
Yeah, my mind is currently blown right now because this is amazing.
Now I'm going to tell you, I've never tried this with water, so I'm going to do this, and I don't.
This is purely scientific.
This is purely scientific. I've never done this with water.
I'll do it with you.
God, I don't know. I don't want to almost besmirch this.
So supposedly they have a bottled and bond coming out, which is going to be all over to be watered down to 100 proof. So I'm kind of curious what it does to the nose.
That's true.
Oh man, it just adds some more complexity to it. I'm telling you, dude, it does. It adds
Totally.
complexity.
All right, begrudgingly.
I don't know if it tasted any different, but man, I'm going to tell you what. I'm getting like.
I get a lot of fruit.
It's got to be a super dark fruit. I don't.
Right.
And so.
I can't put my
And
finger
I think I
on
said
it.
this on the last episode we did, a week or two ago, like graham cracker. Like some of that like cinnamony cracker, like
Maybe.
You're going to hate me again because I'm going to bring back another cereal reference.
so Honey Nut Cheerios or
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I like it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. French toast.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely 100%. French toast. It's French toast.
Now, with the water, I am getting a little bit more tobacco, but I do sense that with that tobacco is just a hint of that, as you're saying, kind of that dark fruitish stuff.
Yep. And it's a dark fruit.
It's like my granddaddy's famous toast, which is butter, cinnamon, sugar with dark cherry jam.
So I was going to say blackberry. Blackberry. I also, oddly enough, I'm getting apple butter.
Yeah, I'm getting that, but there's something like a sharp freshness in there. And it's not mint, but there's some type of sharp freshness in there whenever I'm just smelling.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what that is. It's not mint, but there's some type of it kind of cuts through there, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what that is.
Could that be the wood? And we're not, and because we don't know what an Amburana,
Well-
Amburana tree smells like.
Yeah,
Very plausible.
I have not been to Brazil, so I have no idea.
So this is supposedly like a Brazilian oak tree. I mean,
Yes.
that's supposedly
Yes,
what it is.
you have.
I have not been to Brazil.
That's where we went to the ruins.
No,
On the
that's not
cruise.
Brazil.
Yes, it was.
That's Cozumel, Central America.
Brazil.
No, Belize.
Belize, I'm sorry.
Belize is not Brazil.
Shut up.
Not even the same. Not even the same continent.
That's what I'm saying. We went to Cozumel, Belize, and something else. And then she is telling me I'm number one right now.
Godly. I mean, just all right.
Now we're very close to Guatemala, but not Brazil. But yeah, we just don't have knowledge of what the actual wood smells like, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to understand.
So water on the nose, great. Water on the finish, it does more of that rye's coming through, which I can't believe somehow the rye is coming through on the mid palate.
I'm getting a little bit of that, but it's a lot smoother towards the end. It
Yep.
just kind of rolls off on late
Yeah,
palate.
the
It just rolls.
finish, does not.
I get a really sweet at the beginning, but I'm still getting that rye, and then where it rolls off at the very end.
Yep.
I can't place my finger on the sweet.
All right, this is definitely a neat pour.
Oh, yeah, this isn't going to get touched by water.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I found interesting in some pours of putting one of those cold stones in them and how they react to like being
Oh, yeah.
slightly chilled,
Yeah.
but not getting watered down.
Hell, I'd consider just putting it in the freezer, the whole bottle.
Same concept.
I did that once with one of the honeys, the Kroger Christmas pick. It turned out worse.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was
Really? Water almost came out of my mouth. I still have water in my mouth. I was really?
no.
Real raggy.
Well, I offhand I saw somebody post about putting one of the honey barrels, bourbon finished in honey barrels, in the freezer, and I said, you know what, that sounds delicious because it makes me think of a lot of the different wild turkeys and stuff like that were very good coming cold. I tried it with what I had randomly picked up and opened one of the Kroger Christmas picks of the honey, and it did not turn out well. It changed it.
So to me, some of the crisp picks are really hit and miss, though. In general, though.
Yeah. Well, the before I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was good.
Right.
But then as soon as we put it in the freezer and I left it in the freezer for a while, it I don't know, it did something to it. It's weird. I can't explain it. From a logical standpoint and viscosity, you would get a little change, but from a molecular standpoint, it shouldn't have changed that much from a taste standpoint.
All right. So this next one is straight Barber. It is a rye, and I'm just kind of curious, like to me, what your humble opinion on this one is. And
I'm doing a full reset, drink and nosing.
Yeah, no, I know for sure. You have to. I mean, but the Amburana cask stands up to. I don't care what you put it in. I don't care what you put in that cask. I mean, it stands up. That wood. I mean, it
Only thing I can think of is it's that. You're
Nick's
right.
eyes
That
literally
wood.
just
It's
went like,
what the heck?
woof, like what on earth is that?
Because it's a whole lot of the same nose.
Yep.
And it's got to be that wood. That's the only thing that would
mean,
make sense.
Well, it is. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's that cask, but
God, I need to spell that in real.
I have no idea what you just said.
she's got to get the actual wood and smell it for real.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He followed me.
I knew what she meant.
Real.
Yeah, but she's like, I got to get it in the real. Like, I knew what she meant. I just, listen.
Again, blame the migraine.
Now, weirdly enough, I actually get a little bit of chocolate on the nose at the end. Kind of like it's like that mix of milky / dark. I don't know. It's hard to explain. The closest thing I could almost say is almost like a Three Musketeers. I'm relating this food. Almost everything is food related because that's where my mind is kind of associating.
So I get more of like what Barbara described in the previous one, the dark chocolate. I get more of like...
I still get that too.
On the nose, like it's less of the tobacco, it's more of the dark chocolate on the backside. But even I'm gonna get specific, like super specific, like the Terry's chocolate oranges.
I get you.
It's got a touch. It's got a touch of citrus, and it's not necessarily an orange, but it's a touch of citrus that's sitting in there, and it's like kind of. It could be grapefruit. It could be.
It's not grapefruit.
It's not. But I'm just saying, it's like it's a citrus, and it's not lemon.
I get what you're saying, no, but the question that I have is, weirdly enough, I would think with a rye, being a rye,
Right.
I should be having that little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of snickerdoodle
Right.
on the nose.
Right.
I am not. I'm absolutely not.
So I still get a little bit of it, but it's nowhere. It's faint. It's
Right.
so faint.
Which is mind-boggling because you would assume to get that more on a rye
Right.
than a bourbon.
Right. But just wait till you sip.
Oh, God.
All right, I'm gonna dive in.
Now, the part that you've talked to me about before is what you're chewing on.
Right.
And I know because we've talked about this, and you're not lying one bit. It does taste like you're chewing on a freaking Snickers bar because, you get a round of chocolate. Now, you could argue, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, but you're getting that little bit of faint chocolate taste in there. You're getting that little bit of caramel, base on it. I am getting a little bit of kind of like tangy cinnamon, nutmeg-ish type flavor on it.
Yep.
But then there's this light, nutty taste. Just this, it's very subtle. It's extremely subtle.
So me, it's like that snickery, but covered in cinnamon.
Yes.
Like a snickery, like covered in cinnamon. It's chocolate. It's a little bit of caramel. It's got the richness. It's got some, like you said, nuttiness. But that cinnamon on the mid palate back, it's just like so. It's almost even smoky, like almost like you smoked like sugar or cinnamon and then like smushed it into it.
Like you took the cinnamon cube or sticks.
Sticks, yeah.
And put them on a smoker
Yeah.
and then ground them up and put them in there.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like a smoked flavor. Like it's
So smoky.
yeah.
Now, 1 minute, 30 seconds later, I get that little hint of that snickerdoodle on the back of the back of the throat.
So the
back of
cinnamon's still
palate.
hitting you, yep.
It's still coming through.
But it's smoky. Like,
Yes.
do you not get it?
Yes.
Like, it's almost like I said, and I told you, it's like a bit like you're chewing a cigar, like that, you know how you gnaw on a cigar and you get like kind of that flavor because it kind of like it's the spittle and everything else that's kind of on the end
together.
of it. Yeah, it kind of run. It's all in the back of my throat. Like it's just crazy. And the rye, you can't taste rye.
And this is like that spice cigar. It's not like, like
no,
one of
it's
the deep.
it's like an acid, like a really, really sweet, chewy, like, yeah. And honestly, the one that they paired it with, the olive, which is fantastic, But I'm telling you, these are by far the two most unique pours I've had in probably the last 5 years of drinking bourbon or more.
I will wholeheartedly agree with that. The only thing that I think that comes close to that, at least in my mind, of that I've tasted from Starlight from them, is the Pinot.
The Pinot was good, yeah. And the PX Sherry was pretty unique, but I don't know, man. These are just so crazy.
It's one of those things that I don't want to say that I'm baffled, but it's on another level of complexity that your mind tries to understand and process.
So the other thing is like, and I want to ask Ted and Blake and Christian, these were really, really popular in, I'm going to say like the mid 2000s for breweries
Okay.
to age like stouts and porters in the Amburana caskware. I wonder if they tried one of those someplace, like in some weird micro distillery someplace, and they're like, dude, I want to age some bourbon and some rye in these, or if they were just like, what else can we do that's cool? Or did they try it someplace else? Maybe a scotch was aged in one of these, and they're like, oh my God, what would that do with a bourbon and a rye? Like, I need to know.
It's such a complex. It's so complex.
It is.
You cannot put your finger on nose or taste or anything.
Yeah.
You really cannot.
It's mind-blowingly like all over the place. Like,
It's even more so, and I know that we've had the Liar's bench here before. This is way above that.
yeah. No, 100%.
Because you cannot
No.
differentiate the flavors or the nose.
The more you get into it, the more the kind of tobacco comes out. You get the caramel coming out, but you still have that underlying cinnamon. You still have that underlying just slight chocolate, that just won't go away. It's just there.
Yeah. And even, I just added water to mine.
Agreed.
And even with the rye still is not coming through, you're still getting that cinnamon. You're getting that.
I'm getting a whole lot more tobacco with a little bit of water.
Yep.
And I literally put 1 drop.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's like that old school, like cigar, like chew on, like, and that's one of the other things, like, I really appreciate this is like, I'll be tasting this tonight when I go to bed.
It's going to linger.
I mean, it sticks to the inside of your mouth. That's the reason I told you, anytime we do a bourbon tasting and I bring these out to people, I'm like, this is the last thing we'll drink for the night. You'll still remember it. It doesn't matter how much you drank because it's that damn unique. Like it's like nothing else I've ever tried.
I mean, I'm still processing right now. Is that I haven't taken a drink in almost a minute or two, and my mind is still processing the flavor because it is viscous enough that is sitting on the palate for a long period of time.
Yeah.
The finish is just continuing.
Yeah. And it's not even like, it's not like the finish as in like it's burning, it's going down your chest. It's just literally those flavors are just, it hits every sense in your mouth.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm getting, stuff on both sides of the tongue. I'm still getting stuff on the roof of the mouth that it's just, it lingers, and it's a good linger. It's not like it's like, sometimes that you...
Like cranberry song linger, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. Because you got to let it linger.
I am so beyond baffled by both of these. I just don't even know what I'm doing.
Well, I'm glad I could bring these over so that way you guys could dive into them, try them and stuff.
Because, we've been talking about them, and, the secondary price for them, as much as they've been going for like $320 on secondary.
Yeah, they've been going for dumb money, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, it's one of those things of like going, I haven't, ever pulled the trigger on that because I've never had it. I've never tried it. And seeing that price tag is a little tough.
Right.
And so
knowing that now, are you going to go try to find one? Barbara's like, yes, we are.
Well, I will say that considering that we know that, at the current taping of this, we know that, here in the next few weeks, there's supposed to be a release.
I don't know if it's a few weeks. And you might be right, and I hope you are, because I want to get a chance of getting some more, but I'd bet based on the ones that I tried not that long ago that they're probably 4 or 5 weeks away from bottling, if I was guessing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just making a gentleman's guess here, right? So, but we'll see. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope it is only 3 or 4 weeks before we see one.
So, we can only hope. But absolutely, I want to thank you for bringing these over because these are absolutely amazing. I mean, these are both new experiences for Barbara and myself. That these are, I can't say anything more than mind blowing because it is amazing. Yeah. What these taste like.
They're different. I mean, and that's why I just tell you people that they when I let people try these things, I'm like, they just hit different. Like, I mean, you've tried a lot of bourbon, you've tried a lot of rye.
It's an experience.
I can tell you, I don't think you've ever had anything like this. And they're like, oh man, I've had. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, like I've drank a billion bourbons in my life. I feel like, and this is just something I'm just like, damn.
So for somebody who doesn't smoke cigars in any way, I'm intrigued.
There you go. So, all right. If you had to pick one, the bourbon or the rye, which one is your preference?
The rye.
She didn't even hesitate.
She didn't hesitate.
Didn't even hesitate.
For me, I will have to say bourbon.
I mean,
the bourbon did a little bit more complexity on the nose. I got about, that 2-3 different levels on the bourbon versus the rye.
Going back to the glass now, dude, it hangs in that glass forever. I mean, and the funny thing is, like, look at the color of the glass now. Yeah. Have you ever seen a glass that looked white after you drank it? I'm telling you, like, it's the most unique thing I've ever. It's crazy.
On the bourbon one, all I smell is now tobacco.
Yeah.
Like, all. I don't smell anything else. Just straight up tobacco fields.
See, to me, it's even sweeter. Like I get tobacco, and I even get just a touch of caramel on the glass.
I was about to say, mine is not dry, but
Right.
I got straight up that sweetness, that caramel that just is lingering a little bit, but mine isn't like fully dry as hers. So
Yeah.
it very well could be.
So, all right, you're going bourbon, you're going rye.
I'm going rye.
Man, I think I'm going to go bourbon, and the only reason I'm going bourbon in this situation is because of what Nick said.
Okay.
It's the nose. Like
Okay.
to me, the nose just stands up more. It's a more pronounced. It's just like it's dessert in a cup. I mean, it's literally just everything that you could want in like that smell, and then the way that it comes through.
Yeah, it's very the nose on the bourbon was more, I could tell, multi-level, even on the nose, which
Right.
I'm not even used to.
Right.
I'm used to, about 3 or 4 typical things you're going to smell that you're going to be able to pick out very soon.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it's kind of like when you go back to it each time, and it's almost like a different level that you pick up.
Yeah, it's definitely hits different, man. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, this will wreck your palate because it's just anything you drink after it. It's not the same.
See, and I get that with the rye.
And I think they're both. I mean, that way.
They're both amazing,
Yeah.
but for me, and I think we've gone over this before, I am definitely a rye gal. And there's just something about this rye that just hits so incredible.
And the funny thing is
Oh,
that
and the rye tastes fantastic.
Oh
I'm not.
my
Oh, no.
I'm
God.
not shuddering any one at all. I just, to me, the nose, you lose a little bit of that complexity on the nose with the rye that you have on the bourbon. That's the only difference to me.
yeah, I'll wholeheartedly agree with that. Now, weirdly
And
enough,
I'm not even sure that the flavor isn't just a tad bit more complex with the rye because of the fact that the rye doesn't come through, but I think that it gives a little bit more sweetness.
And I think this is a male versus female thing.
And it could be.
no, very well
I
could
really
be.
do, because I'm not agreeing with
Now,
you both.
now, let me ask you one question.
Yes,
Out of the bourbon or rye, which did you get more cinnamon out of?
the rye.
Really? For some reason, that snickerdoodle rye or cinnamon, it came out more for me in that bourbon than it did the rye.
Nope, in the rye for me. So I really think this comes down to a male-female type thing.
Could be.
Yeah,
could
very
be.
well could be.
All right. So
Battle of the sexes.
we've tried the Starlight, Carl T. Huber's cigar batch, single barrel bourbon, single barrel rye that are cigar batch / finished in Amburana barrels from Brazil. All right. We got a bourbon, we got a rye. I'm going to go bourbon. Of all the things you've tasted, in what's different about this from anything else you've tried?
The complexity. I just cannot pinpoint a specific nose or a specific flavor. There is just something that is just so unique that I have no idea how to explain it.
Yeah. It's the senses, man. It touches it all.
You know-
Everywhere.
You know what this at? I'm going to throw out something here that it's very difficult, but I would say these are almost chuggable. That you would, if you didn't control yourself, that if you didn't control yourself on pours, how fast do you think you would go through a bottle?
So the first bottle of Blake's bourbon, it went down pretty damn quick. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I mean, now granted, I had a handful of people with me the day that we hit it hard, but I mean
But it doesn't drink that way.
no,
It drinks
no.
like a good sipper.
yeah, no,
you know,
absolutely.
Whereas, like he's saying, these are easily, you don't realize that you're guzzling it down
Yeah.
until you've realized
But
you
yeah, 'cause
guzzled it
I
down.
had way less in my glass than you guys did, and you both finished your glasses about the same time I did. Like, I mean, they go down easy. You got to be
They
careful.
go on super easy.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed on this it was so easy, so drinkable. These are familiar flavors that you would have either in your past or that you're used to, and it drinks. I could probably easily take a guzzle of it. I might get hit a little bit with the proofage, but then I would be right over and take another drink.
Yeah.
I don't get any proofage.
Yeah, I mean, they drink really low proof, in my opinion, But the rye is low proof. I mean, it's like 107. So, I mean,
That's it?
yeah.
I'm impressed.
So, Well, all right. That is the Starlight Brazilian Amburana cask, bourbon and rye finished. Bourbon Barrel Talk. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to find us. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those good things. Thanks again for the Brocks for hosting us for the night. Glad we could get these and enjoy them and partake them together. And if you want to find us, you know where to find us. If you want to message us, you know how to message us. This is Scott signing out with the Brock family. Peace out.
Bye.